Welcome back to another NHL video. Today we are going back in time to the 2008-2009 NHL regular season. We downloaded a roster from the roster sharing from the great Nick Crosby 87 on the PS5, and he has fully made the rosters to the 2008-2009 NHL regular season. Obviously, there might be a little bit of discrepancies, but we're going to try keeping it as close as possible to the rosters here. So just a 2008-2009 summary. So the league champions, so Stanley Cup champions, were the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Vezina went to Tim Thomas of the Boston Bruins. The Calder went to Steve Mason. The Hart Trophy to Alexander Ovechkin, who scored 56 goals, 54 apples, 110 points. The assist leader was Evgeny Malkin, and the point leader was also Evgeny Malkin with 113 points, and that was 78 assists. Leading in goals was, of course, Alexander Ovechkin. But let's start with the Ottawa Senators. So we'll take a look at the roster here. Head coach off. So first line left wing, the great Danny Heatley, 88 overall, 40 years old. Obviously, we'll probably do a 2-year simulation here just because the ages are going to be so high of so many of these players, so they're probably all going to retire after 1 to 2 years. So Danny Heatley, first line left wing, was an absolute stud for the Ottawa Senators when he played. 88 overall. In the middle, Jason Spezza, 88 overall. And then to fill out the pizza line that they were called, Daniel Alfredsson, 48 years old, 89 overall, one of the best leaders in NHL history. Let's go. Second line, Nick Foligno, Mike Comrie, Chris Kelly, Jarkko Ruutu, Mike Fisher, Chris Neal, best enforcer of all time, Peter Regan, Jesse Winchester, and Sean Donovan. Defensively, Philip Kuba, Chris Phillips. Honestly, can we kind of mess around with this morale? I guess not. Chris Campoli, Brian Lee, Brendan Bell, and Anton Volchenkov. And of course, in the cage, Alex Ald and Brian Elliott. So let's go through all the NHL teams. I won't go too in-depth for them. I'll kind of just highlight everyone. But yeah, I'm sure you'll recognize a couple names here, like Bobby Ryan when he was a bit younger playing for the Anaheim Ducks, 87 overall, Ryan Getzlaf at 91, Timo Salami, Scory Perry, Ebbett, Christensen, Matt Beletsky. Defensively, Scott Niedermayer, Chris Pronger, probably the best 1-2 punch right there. Ryan Whitney, James Wisniewski, and then in the cage here, they have Jonas Hiller and J.S. Shiger. So they're the Anaheim Ducks. The Arizona Coyotes, they got Brizgalov, Al Montoya, and then, of course, starting lines. We'll take a look. You got Mikhail Bodker, Matt Lombardi, Shane Doan. I mean, the Coyotes have just sucked for a long time. You know, Brian McGrattan, Hansel. Defensively, Ed Jovanovski, Zbigniew Mahalik, Keith Yandel, who's a superstar X Factor. Moving on to Boston, this was a pretty damn good team, as they were the team who had the Vezina Trophy winner. So Mark Recchi, Mark Savard, Phil the Thrill at 87, Michael Ryder, Krejci, Lucic, a young Bergeron, not so young anymore, Sean Thornton, Axelson. Defensively, Zdeno Chara at 92, Dennis Weidman, and then, of course, the man in between the pipes, you got Tim Thomas at a 92 overall. The Buffalo Sabres, Yaroslav Spacek. I don't really recognize too many of them, but Craig Rivet. I kind of like, they didn't have any superstars. Derek Roy, Thomas Vanek, Palman P, Maxim Afinogenov, Tim Connolly, Drew Stafford. Not a bad team for the Buffalo Sabres here. And then, of course, in the cage, they have Ryan Miller at 90 overall. Did a lot of good things for that franchise. The Carolina Hurricanes, Cam Ward. Oh, man, I remember Cam Ward. Ray Whitney, Eric Stahl, Ruutu, Matt Cullen, Sergei Samsonov, Rob Brindamore. Defensively, Pickenen, Babchuk, Dennis Seidenberg. Okay, Joe Corvo, former Ottawa Senator. The Columbus Blue Jackets, Fedor Tatuin, Mike Commodore, Chris Russell, Hedja, Mark Mathot before coming to Ottawa. And then offensively, Rick the Dick Nash, Jason Williams, Husens, Voracek, Derek Brassard at 85, pretty good. Antoine Vermette, Manny Malhotra, Jason Shamara, RJ Umberger. Oh my God, so many names just coming back to me. Mike Camilleri for the Flames, Langwan, Damon Langwan, oh, Langkow, Damon Langkow. I remember his name, but it's just not coming to me right now. Jerome Ginlow, one of the best players to never win a Stanley Cup. Rene Bourque, Olli Jokinen, Craig Conroy, David Moss. Pretty good team here too. Defensively, Dion Fagoof, Adrian Aucoin, Mark Giordano is a young man. Moving on here. I'm not going to go through all the goalies, I think. The Chicago Blackhawks were really good in this time. Dustin Byfuglien, Brian Campbell, Duncan Keith, Brent Seabrook. Offensively, Patrick Sharp, Taves, Havlat, Kane, Bolin, Ladd. Yeah, this was a really good team. The Colorado Avalanche, Ryan Smith, Joe Sakic, coming to the end of his career, Milan Hajduk. Not the best team. This is when they were kind of going through that rebuild and then picked up Nathan McKinnon, and the rest is history. John Michael Lyles, though, definitely remember him. He played for Toronto as well. The Dallas Stars, Trevor Daley, Matt Niskanen, Stefan Robitaille, Nick Grossman, Louis Erickson, Brad Richards got caught with cocaine, I believe. James Neal, who else? Mike Madonna, Steve Ott. A lot of good overalls here. Ribeiro was obviously a really good player for them. The Detroit Red Wings, who were really good for a very, 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 very long time. Thomas Holmstrom, Pavel Datsyuk at a 92 overall. I think that's the highest we've seen so far. I think for forwards, so far the highest we've seen is Pavel Datsyuk at a 92 overall. Marian Hossa, Yuri Hudler, Henrik Zetterberg, Johan Franzen, Dan Cleary, Samuelson. I don't think that might be Kopecky. Yeah, this was a good team. Defensively, Nick Lindstrom, Rafalski, Cornwall. I mean, remember all the hits Cornwall had? I mean, basically a modern-day Scott Stevens. Edmonton had Sheldon Soret, Tom Gilbert, Ladishad Smead, Sean Horkoff, Alice Hemsky at 87 overall, which is pretty damn high. Dustin Penner, but no real. This is probably one of the worst teams I would say so far. Not the greatest team. Florida, David Booth, Stefan Weiss, Nathan Horton, Corey Stillman, Michael Frolik. Defensively, Jake McCabe, Joe Bouwmeester, Keith Ballard. Okay. So again, not the strongest team. The LA Kings, again, not the strongest team here. They end up winning a cup in a couple of years after this, though. So they got Alexander Frolik, Anze Kopitar, and Dustin Brown, who's really the heart and soul of this team. Wayne Simmons, Michael Handzus, Brian Boyle. Defensively, Jack Johnson, Drew Doughty, young Drew Doughty, where he was only 83 overall. Kyle Quincy. The Minnesota Wild, Marc-Andre Bergeron, Marek Zidlicki, Brent Burns on the team, Brunette, Miku Koivu, Pierre-Marc Bouchard, Owen Nolan, Marian Gaborik, of course, got to touch on him here. 89 overall, was definitely their best player. Moving on to the Montreal Canadiens, Alex Tanguay, Saku Koivu, and Alex Kovalev. Kovalev had some of the nastiest hands in the NHL around. This is probably a little bit later in his career, but Koskinen. Thomas Plekanec's a really good two-way forward for the Montreal Canadiens for so many years. Maxime Lapierre, Markov, Komisarek, Georges. No PK Subban at this point in the career. The New Jersey Devils had Johnny Oduya, Andy Green. This, not looking too good. The first line's all right, though. First line's pretty good. Elias, not bad. Zach Parise when he was at the height of his career. Travis Zajac, Jamie Langenbrunner. So a good team there. The Nashville Predators, again, a lower overall team. They were kind of led by Jason Arnott. Martin Erat's a great player. Steve Sullivan was good for them. Of course, Jean-Pierre Dumont was fantastic. Defensively, Ryan Suter, Shea Weber. What a combination. Can you imagine having that when they were both at the heights of their career? Which they kind of were in this point, but I think Suter got a little bit better a little bit down the line. The New York Islanders, they got Mark Street, Gervais. Nothing else too crazy. Okay, yeah, this is definitely the worst team so far. Blake Como, Doug Waite, Kyle Okposo is probably their best player. But yeah, the Islanders definitely the worst team so far. The Rangers, Chris Drury, Andropov, Zherdev, Callahan, Scott Gomez, Marcus Naslin, Dubinsky. Okay, a lot of names here. Wade Redden, Michael Roosevelt. This is a very good team, but not a great team. You know, they're kind of mediocre. The Philadelphia Flyers, Scott Hartnell, Jeff Carter, and Simon Gagne. I mean, that's a great first line. Danny Briere, Mike Richards, Joffrey Lupul, Mike Newell, Claude Giroux. This was a good team, the Philadelphia Flyers. Kimmo Timonen, Matthew Carl, Braden Coburn. Okay, that's a good team there. The Pittsburgh Penguins, so this was the team that eventually went on and won the Stanley Cup. Sidney Crosby, 95 overall. Evgeny Malkin, 94 overall. Peter Sikora, Ruslan Fedotenko, Chris Kunitz, Matt Stajan, Jordan Stahl. I mean, yeah, that 1, 2, 3 in the middle is just unreal. And freaking Matt Cook, the guy who ruined Erik Karlsson's career. Defensively, Sergei Gonchar, Chris Letang, a little bit younger here, Hal Goligoski, but great team there. The Seattle Kraken, of course, I don't know whose team this is. Couldn't tell you, but that's the Seattle Kraken. The San Jose Sharks, Patrick Marleau and Joe Thornton when they were at the heights of their career. Two beasts back in 08-09. Devin Seniguchi to finish up that line. Joe Pavelski, Milan Mahalik, Ryan Clough, Jeremy Roenick at the end of his career. Defensively, Marc-Edouard Vlasic and Dan Boyle, who's one of the best offensive defensemen around this area. Christian Ehrhoff as well. Rob Blake, great team there. St. Louis, Kolyakovo, Roman Polak in their top two. Something's telling me this team's not going to be the greatest, but, you know, not terrible. Keith Tkachuk, Backus, Alexander Steen, Oshie. A lot of these players were actually young and got really good. Paul Kariya, of course, at the end. David Perron, who's kind of been steady his whole career. And Andy McDonald. Off to the Tampa Bay Lightning. So, yeah, Tampa Bay, this is when they were they were building up here. They were building up. Ryan Malone, Vinny Lecavalier, Martin St. Louis, Steven Stamkos at only an 85 overall. Defensively, Paul Ranger, Andre Mazzaros. I remember Mazzaros, but not the best team compared to what they are today. The Toronto Maple Leafs, Alexei Ponikarovsky. I knew these guys. So Ottawa played them a lot. Jason Blake, Lee Stepniak, Mikhail Gravoski. I was actually a big Gravoski fan. Kuhlman, Hagman, Matt Stajan. Defensively, Caberlet, Kubina. I remember Pavel Kubina. Jeff Finger. But not the best team, you know, they struggle. And then the Vancouver Canucks, the Sedin brothers and Alex Burrows, great line right there. Pavel Demitra, Bernier, Ryan Kessler when he was really good. Matt Sundin, he played a couple of years there, I guess. I never knew that. I kind of forgot about that. Alex Edler, Kevin Bieksa, Sammy Salo, Matthias Olin. Moving on to the Vegas Golden Knights. Don't know who this is. Probably just kind of a random throw together team. The Winnipeg Jets, so Ilya Kovalchuk at a 91 overall. Pretty impressive. Todd White, Krolov, Rich Peverley, Perrin, Reasoner, Chris Thorburn. Defensively, Enstrom, Zach Bogosian, and Ron Hainsey at 84. And then the Washington Capitals. I imagine Ovi. Yeah, Ovi at 95. This is when he was just lighting it up. Just absolutely dominating the NHL in goal scoring. Playing with Backstrom, who was one of the best passers, and Alexander Semin, who kind of just fell off. Thomas Fleischman, Krolov, Eric Fair, Brooks Laich, Sergei Fedorov, Michael Nylander, defensively Tom Potty, Mike Green, who is a really good offensive defenseman, and then Jeff Schultz, a good team there. And that is all of the teams. So if it's anything like real life, the Pittsburgh Penguins will be Stanley Cup champions. Let's simulate a year, see what happens, and I'll get back to you guys at the end of the year. History will not repeat itself in the NHL 22 simulation, as the Pittsburgh Penguins do not even make the Stanley Cup playoffs here, as the Boston Bruins go on and win the Stanley Cup, which is, I mean, not the craziest shocker, but looking at the team stats here, we'll go into the entire NHL. You also got to remember it was East versus West back then, but let's go entire league. Philadelphia wins the President's Trophy. Where did the Pittsburgh Penguins fall? So they missed the playoffs. Well, they were tied with Florida, so they just had less ROW, which is the reason why they didn't make the playoffs. Pretty tight battle, though. 88 points, 87. All these teams relatively really close to making the playoffs, but it was the Boston Bruins who prevailed. Statistically, I mean, Danny Heatley scores 62 goals for the Ottawa Senators, but going into the entire league, looks like Eric Staal of the Carolina Hurricanes leads the way. Mike Richards, Danny Heatley right up there, 63 goals, led the NHL for sure. Ray Whitney, Marian Gaborik, Louis Eriksson, Jason Blake, Havlat, 92 points, Vinny LeCavalier, Jason Spezza, Zach Parise, Arnott, Andropov. I'll go for everyone above a point per game so you can kind of see this. Alex Kovalov, McDonald, Backstrom, Patrick Sharp, Derek Roy, Ilya Kovalchuk, Camilleri, Anze Kopitar, Naslin, Hemsky, Crosby at 95, only puts up 82 points. Brunette, Alfredson, and that's it. But leading the league in goals was indeed Alexander Ovechkin in real life. But in the game, Danny Heatley and Ovi only puts up 46 goals, which is very low. Awards-wise, Boston, President's Trophy does not go to, or the President's Trophy goes to Philadelphia. Individual awards, Art Ross, Eric Stahl, Mike Richards, Shea Weber, Marian Gaborik, Morgan Frost somehow makes his way in there, but that's fine. Matt Savard, Marty Biron, William M. Jennings, Tim Thomas, Brian Bedard, Leclerc, Anze Kopitar, Mike Richards, and then finally Danny Heatley. But I'm going to simulate one more year. A lot of these players will retire, but, you know, get one more year in there. The second year of simulation, we have a new Stanley Cup champion, and this time it is the Calgary Flames who take out the Buffalo Sabres in the Stanley Cup Finals. This year, Pittsburgh actually does make the playoffs. They get past Washington, the great battle of Ovi versus Crosby, but fall in round 2 to the New Jersey Devils. Let's look at the awards here. Actually, we'll go player stats first. Danny Heatley once again leads the Ottawa Senators, this time only 46 goals, so must be some crazy retirements. Wow. Points-wise, Nicholas Backstrom, 8 goals, 88 assists. That's insane. 8 goals, 88 assists. That means Ovi probably led the league in scoring. Oh, you know, second place. Thomas Fleischmann, 88 overall, so not crazy. But points here, not as many people above a point per game as last year. Kovalev, Semin, Sharp, Eric Stahl, Derek Roy are not. Actually, there's quite a few. Hemsky, Gaborik, Heatley, Richards, Alfie, David Booth, Miku Koivu, and that's about it. Henrik Sedin, basically right there, but 8 goals, 88 assists. That's crazy. That is insane. And let's take a look here at the awards before we end off the video. Calgary, Nashville to Presidents, Art Ross to Backstrom, Hart to Backstrom, Norris to Mike Green, Pominville, Lucas Raymond. Wow, Lucas Raymond wins the Conn Smythe Trophy. Had a great year for them. Vezina to Ryan Miller, William M. Jennings, Ryan Miller. Bedard gets it for the second year in a row for the Bill Masterton. There it is, Pavel Datsyuk for the Selke, Ted Lindsay, Backstrom, and then Maurice Rocker-Richard goes to Fleischmann this year. But that's going to do it for this video. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you want to see in the future. NHL 23 is right around the corner. Can't wait to get started on that. But I'll see you guys in the next video. And as always, have a fantastic day. Go Sens, go.